4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Ranchin here, bringing all the stuff of commentary. Bisu versus Iris, Avalon MSL quarterfinals, Group C, all that stuff. Set 3! Oh yeah, on Carthage 3, you're going to have Bisu as the blue protoss at the 11 o'clock position. That means we're going to have Iris at the 5 o'clock position playing the teal-colored terran. Alright, they could have given us slightly better colors, but since this is different races, I suppose it's alright. Not going to be the most fun match ever on the minimap, but oh well, oh well. So I gotta say, I really like this series so far. 1-1, Iris having taken the first game over a week ago. Then Bisu gotten quick revenge right off the bat on Carthage 3. He really seems to love cheesing on the map. If he gets forward into this tournament, people really should fear him cheesing just overall on that map. He just seems to, especially against Terran. Terran should be wary. Well, actually, I believe Iris is the only Terran left in this MSL, so he is. But you know, maybe Bisu decides I'm so good I can cheese a Zerg even if he 9 pools. But no, overall, if Outsider stays the map and you know is played in the Pro League playoffs, you never know. Bisu just might decide to cheese yet again because he does it so well. Bisu isn't the biggest cheeser ever, but when he cheeses, be careful. So let's see, Iris is just going to block off his ramp here. Just very easily, you can easily block off with 2 buildings right into your main. Probe's not going to be able to get inside, not even to be able to. Unless that SCV runs right to the left, he's not going to be able to. Probe's not going to be able to harass the SCV. SCV's staying on the right side so far. Most likely, eventually, will get harassed. So there is a second SCV there just in case that happens, just to force that probe away in case of things like that. Just to force one SCV to cancel and the other SCV to build there. He does just that. Going to force Bisu to go right back. Iris going to play standard so far. Bisu actually going to go for a 12 Nexus, spotting what Iris goes for. Decides to go for a quick economic advantage here on this 2-player map, Carthage 3. I gotta say, I kind of like the way this map is done. Probe and SCV fighting off there. Bisu notorious for somehow getting kills with his probes. SCV has to be very careful. SCV is almost at his limit right now. One more hit. One or 2 more hits. And one more hit, I think. I think it might be 2 more hits. SCV almost dead, so Iris is going to run right up north to get a scout at this point. Bisu really also doing a beautiful job of just keeping the SCV busy. I was thinking, okay, Oval's lost my SCV at this point. I've got to run up north and get the scouting information I need. We're going to see whether he decides to go for an expansion as soon as he spots that 12 Nexus that Bisu has put down. But yeah, as I was saying just a second ago, I really like the architecture of this map, Carthage. Just overall, you got those 3 bases up at the top and at the north, so your natural expansion is fairly easy to take. It's a pretty wide opening, though, so it could be difficult to defend depending on how you take it. Then there's another 3rd base up the north at the 1 o'clock position, at the south at the 7 o'clock, which has two different ramps to get into, so that can be very vulnerable unless you defend it properly. So Iris just going to run up now there and spot that base. There are also, of course, bases all over the map. You got those inside 11 o'clock, inside 5 o'clock, which used to be gas bases at this point or not. And you got more bases at the 4 o'clock, the 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, all gas bases. So it's a rather gas-heavy map all over the place. Bisu now does manage to get the probe scout in, so he's going to get the full-on scout. Iris almost forcing it back with Marines, but almost did manage to force it back with Marines, but Bisu in the end is going to get the full-on scout. Nothing really nothing really funky that Iris is doing that he doesn't want Bisu to see. Bisu just does have his core up, getting his second gateway, so he's going to go for standard stuff. Most likely just going to keep pumping Dragoons. He's getting the range upgrades, so most likely just going to keep on pumping Dragoons, while Iris is putting down his other expansion. He's going to be forced. He's definitely going to have to go and do some economic harassment, and I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to manage to do that right away, because there are going to be 2 gateways pumping Dragoons, and with a decent number of Dragoons on the field, it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of damage done. Iris has lost his SCV scout at this point, getting his second factory up. Not quite sure what he's upgrading. I haven't seen him build anything yet. We're going to see whether he goes for initial tank. Okay, never mind. Does the first vulture. We're going to see whether he actually goes for mines. Those vultures try to plant those mines all over the place and prevent those dragoons from having too much maneuverability on Bisu's side. Definitely going to force Bisu to go in observatory. I assume that's the route Bisu is going to be taking. Eventually going for a robotics facility. You have mines already on the field, so speed next, maybe. Dragoons being built so far. Bisu actually also using pylons to wall off one of the bases inside of his natural. Also getting robotics facility, so observatory is going to be coming up. Going to see what, quite possible that after that he's going to, right after that, going to go for Reaver Tech. Also, mine being planted at the upper right hand, the 1 o'clock position, just in case. Because now that Bisu has that one base, he's most likely going to be expanding fairly quickly into yet another one. So Iris definitely wants to know when that's happening. And there's white guys out there. And a sign that says, "I'm with a white guy." That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty much every StarCraft, every guy that's a fan of professional StarCraft wants to go to Korea to a game once. Let's see, Iris here going to go for an academy, so he's going to be getting some scouting done. And actually going to put down a starport now, so he might be going for drop tech. At this point, I think that's what he needs to do. He's not going to be able to allow it to run through with vultures, so he might be going for drop. Citadel doing alongside an observatory for Beast on the opposite side, so he's going to be getting the observers out. Not going to go for Reaver tech, so he's going to get speed for those zealots and then maybe go all the way to Templar tech. Possibly thinking of expanding at this point yet again. Soon barracks running up at the lower left hand, just trying to see if there's an opening, but there are dragoons ready for it. If any drops going to be coming in, there's going to be ready. Speed ready for those vultures. Now we're going to see what Iris tries to do for something. He's not going to be too successful because Bisu has natural expansion pretty well protected. Our pylons sit in there. Dragoons alongside vultures going to be forced back right away. So he's going to need that starport to get some harassment going for him. Instantly adding control towers. So they are going to be indeed dropships on the way. Armory also coming up, so he's going to be taking up getting some upgrades. And let's see, a first observer now out for Bisu, still popping. Okay, 2 more gateways now added into his first 2. So the Dune is up. Don't see a Templar Archives coming up. Don't believe. Yeah, there is a Templar Archives kind of hidden there at between his main and his natural expansion, just to prevent those scans from doing anything. And unless Iris pops a scanner right the correct position, he's going to be killing a probe. There was on the field, running around, just still putting mines. And Bisu at this point can simply clear a lot of mines, just going around with an observer on the field. Mines are not really going to be able to prevent him from doing too much of anything. And there are fans standing there looking excited. Starport actually coming in from Bisu, just spotted now. Stargate, I'm sorry, Starport. An Arbiter Tribunal coming up. So Bisu, another time, going to go for 2 base Arbiters. This means he's definitely going to be putting up an expansion yet again fairly soon. He did this against Fantasy in the first game, and it caught Fantasy completely off guard. He was not expecting it, did not have the forces to defend against it. So he could be in trouble. It's actually the way that Iris has built his base. He's actually getting his patient in the lower left hand. Iris does have an armory, so if he spots that, if he scans that, if he's lucky enough to spot the Arbiter, he was instantly going to be able to get some Goliaths to help him out. So he's going to be having a Vulture tank Goliath army on the ground. Beast actually going to take the mineral only at the inside 11 o'clock, rather taking the biscuit at the upper right hand. Of course, as I said before, risky, especially to this heavy Vulture play, due to the 2 movements and actually 3 Dragoons and a Zealot ready for that drop. He was going to be trying to come in. Iris definitely trying to find an opening. Might actually moving from the south. Bisu now going to be expanding there. It's a rather open field, but still easy defendable. Vultures are going to be running inside right into a field of vultures, so they're just going to be forced to run around. 3 of them are going to be able to get into the natural expansion, are actually going to get into the probe line. At least 3 of them going to be able to get into the probe line. Probe is actually fighting the vultures, and they get cleared up fairly easily. A couple of probe kills, I believe, but not too much damage. Iris definitely, you can tell by the look on his face, definitely wanted to do more with that. Well, Bisu just sitting there looking focused, getting his first Arbiter on the field. Still popping from only 4 gateways.